Hi everybody. So by this week you should have your buildings ready. Okay, so you have all your buildings everywhere should be complete, right? And all your trees, your roads, however you detailed your project, the more detailed it is, the better it will look, and the better your mark also will be. So it's all up to you. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do today is we're gonna cut out the parts that we don't need from the site. Okay, to do that you will need to not select anything. So don't select anything, go to your properties panel. You will see section box. You just have to enable it, press apply. Once you do that, you will see there's like a box that surrounds our site, right? So if you select it, you will see there's a box. Maybe go on top, and then we're gonna scale it, not scale it but crop it, sorry. So you're gonna crop it. Okay, just cut a little bit into the side, right? Never leave it outside, it will look weird. Just cut a bit into the side, maybe like this. Okay, so we have something like this, right? If you move the base, it will make this thicker. If you move the base here, it will make it something like this. Okay, you just see which one, like how deep you think your one should be, or how tall. But make it a bit tall, because later when we make the diagrams we will need the box to be tall. Okay, once you're done and happy with what you have, you just select the box, right click, hide in view, elements. So you will have this. Okay, if you off this here, it will reset the section box, so you will have to do it over again. Don't off it, just leave it on like it is, but hide the section box. And if you need it back, you just click on the reveal hidden items, select it, and hide element, and toggle hide reveal, right? Now you find a nice angle that you think will be nice. So I'm gonna make the wind come this side so we can see what's happening, around the site. Okay, or maybe this angle. Okay, I think this angle is a bit better. So I'm going to use this angle for all my diagrams. Okay, something like this. So first diagram we're gonna make is wind direction. So you go to your site. Okay, let me off this. So you go to your site, go to massing and site. We're gonna on show mass and then create in place mass. Okay, give it a name. First, try to find the center of your site. Okay, so I think it's somewhere here. Draw a straight line, right? So it cuts the site, like it's in the middle of the site. Make it a bit longer. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make an arrow. Okay, or half an arrow. So something like this, this, and this. Okay, make a box here, and then select it, copy it, CO, pick the base of the arrow, place it here, maybe one more. So now you have 3 rectangles and half an arrow. Select your arrow, hold control, select these boxes, and then you mirror them. You press MM, mirror, pick the mirror line, which is the middle one, so you will have something like this. Okay, so if you go to your 3D, you should have something like this showing. Select your arrow. Okay, make form, solid form. Good. Let's create a material, call it wind. I already have one called wind, give it a color. Okay, maybe lower this a bit. Okay, don't make it in the water, it will look weird. So make it, a bit floating, like this. Okay, let me check something. Yeah, I think it's fine. Okay, so now you're gonna do the same for all these forms. Solid form here, solid form again, solid form. Okay, select these, change the material to wind. You can just type it here, wind. They all will become the same color. Now we're gonna align these boxes to the same as this. Okay, so align is AL, AL. Select the top of the arrow. Okay, make sure you have multiple alignment on, and then pick the top here, here, and here. Okay. So now we're gonna align the base again. AL. Pick the base. If you cannot pick the base, you just mouse over. You press Tab. Click the base. Here, here, and the last one. Okay, then you finish mask. Right, so you have something like this that's showing wind direction. Now we want to add a text to the side, okay, to show in writing that this wind direction, that this arrow is representing wind direction. You go to architecture, you pick reference plane, or the shortcut is RP, RP. Try to make it, in the center of the arrow, somewhere here, but we can always move it later, so yeah. So just pick this, make it a bit longer, give it a name, call it maybe wind. Okay, so you have one like this. Go back to your 3D. We're gonna go to architecture. First we're gonna set the reference plane to wind. Okay, so here you pick wind, press OK, click on show. Right, so now we have something like this. Then we're gonna pick 3D model text. In here you can type wind direction, press OK. You can click here. Right, so you have your wind direction. Now here we can edit the type, change the material and everything. So I'm gonna use the same material, wind. This one I'm gonna make it 500, and then the size of the text maybe 2000. Okay, if you want a custom size, you can always edit type. You can duplicate it. You give it the name that you want, maybe 3000 millimeter if you want. Give it the name, okay. Then here you can change to bold, italic, and all these things. Right. So maybe let's pick italic, apply, okay. So now we have our wind direction. We can always adjust this, go to a view parallel to whatever you're looking at, and then you just adjust this so it looks nice. Okay, so now we have diagram 1. Okay, maybe a bit thicker, maybe 800 perhaps. No, 800, okay, is a bit too much. Let's do 600. Okay, yeah. So if you want to, like center it or all these things, you can always do that, but I'm just gonna leave it like this, and then I'm gonna off that reference plane. One more thing that we can do to make it look nice, like not very colorful, okay, let me adjust my section box. I'm not too happy with it. I'm gonna adjust the base. Don't want it too thick. Okay, maybe something like this. Right, so now we have this wind direction here showing. We're gonna change some settings. First, we're gonna on the shadows. Okay, it's this button to on the shadows. Then I'm gonna change some visual style. I'm gonna switch it to, let's go graphic display. Change it to hidden line. Press apply, okay. Enable smooth lines with anti-aliasing. Okay, you can do this, and then for shadows you can adjust your shadows, cast ambient shadows. You have to turn it on, then it looks a bit nicer. Okay, it's up to you. Right, I think ambient is better. Right, and then you can even enable sketchy lines and stuff. So you have depth cueing. That one later we will cover when we actually use drawing elements. So just change the lighting here if you want. Okay, you can make the shadows softer. So maybe I'm gonna use 20 for the shadows. Don't want them too harsh. Right, or maybe 30. Okay, let's do 30. Okay. But for the text, I'm going to select the text, right click, okay, override graphics in view by element. I'm going to change this to solid fill. The color, we're gonna change to maybe the red that we were using. Okay, so perhaps this. Okay, this is a bit too pink. Okay, we can always go find the color code, right, and then bring it here. Right, okay, let me cancel this for now. Let me just go and check the material. Okay, so you go to manage material, check the win, the color code is here. Okay, you can always save it, so you can add it to custom colors. Now, right, select it again, right click, override graphics in view by element. You can pick your solid fill, pick your custom color, apply. Okay, we're gonna do the same for the wind, the arrow, right? So right click, override graphics in view by element, change this to solid, and then we're gonna change this to this one. Okay, so now you have your wind direction hitting in the corner. So this will be like diagram 1. Okay, let's do diagram 2. So first we need to place this on a sheet. Okay, to create a sheet, you just have to load the sheet in the project. So that's a sheet, right? So you open the sheet file I will share with you. You just download it and open it. And then here you can change your name here. Okay, so you edit this text, you just click on it, you write your name here. Project will be project 1. Okay, sheet name you give it site analysis or massing diagrams, up to you. Okay, so you change all of this. Once you're done with it, you can save it, Control S, and then you just click load into project and close. Okay, it's gonna load in the project. In this view, it won't be visible. Okay, so don't mind this warning, you can close it. Then in here, you just have to go to sheet, right click, new sheet. Okay, so when you click new sheet, it's gonna ask you which sheet is it. So you just have to load which sheet that you need. Right, the one that you just loaded in the project will be here. Then you press OK. Once you press OK, you will see, you will go to the sheet page. Okay, so this is just, you know, an idea of whatever buildings that you want to create. Okay, sorry, not buildings, whatever diagrams. So you can make a wind one, a sun path, accessibility, you have noise, you have views, right? And then you can talk a bit about the buildings that's around. Okay, so something like this, and then your diagrams will come around here. Okay, and then you can have like a big one here, a small one here, like showing buildings and stuff, right? You just have to compose your board very nicely. Okay, so let's place our first diagram, which is wind. You just right click on your 3D view, duplicate view, duplicate with detailing, right? So it's gonna duplicate it. Here you right click again on the new view, you're gonna rename it to wind direction. Wind direction. Okay, so you have not wind direction, right? So you go back to your sheet, select the wind direction, don't double click, just click one time on it, click on it, drag it and drop it on your diagram here. You won't see it because it's too big. You just have to mouse wheel, zoom out, and then you click. As you can see, the diagram is very big. Okay, you just have to double click on the diagram, change the scale here to maybe 1 to 1000. Then you'll have a smaller drawing. Okay, once you've done that, you have to move it back there. So to go back there, you just right click, deactivate view. Okay, to open the diagram, you double click on it. To deactivate, you right click, deactivate. Now you select your diagram, you drag it, place it here. Okay, if it's too big, you can also change the scale one more time, maybe 1 to 2000. Deactivate view, select it, bring it and place it here, right? So for wind, you can see only the wind is in color, right? It looks a bit better, I think. Again, if you want to duplicate one more, let's say we have vegetation which is not listed here, right? These are just example of what diagrams you can do. Let's say we have one for vegetation. I'm gonna right click the 3D again, duplicate view, duplicate with detailing. Again, once it's made the duplicate, you right click on the view, you rename it. I'm gonna call this one vegetation, right? Vegetation. Go back to your sheet, drag, click on vegetation, don't double click, one click, go back to your sheet, one click vegetation, drag and drop here. Click one time, too big again, open it, change your scale to the same one, 2000, right click, deactivate, click, drag it back here, right? You can see it's gonna give you like a line thingy, so you can align them, put it here. Now in this one, open the diagram again, so double click inside, select your wind direction, right click, hide in view, elements. Okay, don't delete it, it's gonna delete on this one as well. So right click, deactivate, you're fine. Now change your trees. You just select one tree, right click on it, override graphics in view by category. Okay, so category, you will find here solid fill, color, maybe you put it something greenish, right? Something greenish if you have. So now I have my trees green, right? So this one will be a vegetation diagram. So right click, deactivate view. If you want to save, you save. So next we have to put the text. To put the text, the shortcut is TX, or you can click here, text, right? And then in here you can see your size, you can edit type, always duplicate it, don't edit the initial one, so you duplicate it. Maybe this one you want it like maybe 5 millimeters, so you give it 5 millimeters. Okay, press OK. Okay, it's already in use. I already have one, but I'm sure you understand. So yeah, you give it a name, any name you want, right? So you know which one it is. Then you press OK, it will give you the name here. And then you just have to edit all the settings. So maybe if you want it, the font you want to change, you can change the size, you can make it bold, right? You have all of these things. So you can have one for vegetation, right? So if you want to type, you just click one time. You're gonna call this vegetation, okay? And then you write something about the vegetation. You don't have to write the same thing as I'm doing. You write your own. Maybe you talk about the type of the vegetation, right? That, you know, there's like 5 types of trees that grows around this area, you know, it's because of the river or things like that, you know. Yeah. So this one also you can right click, override element if you want to show maybe one diagram about the water. So let's say water, solid, pick material, maybe something like this, right? Apply, okay, then you have your water, you know, all these things and all the diagrams. By the end, you will have, you know, a set of diagrams. You can do one more arrow for, you know, for vehicle traffic direction or, you know, site accessibility. You can have one for, you know, site accessibility, like I said, one for noise, right? You just have to represent the noise maybe using arrows, like noisy, you know, like scraggly arrows. You have a lot of things. You have a sun path you can make. Okay, let me show you one sun path. I'm just gonna give you the tools of how to make the diagrams. The diagrams is up to you, but these are examples that you can make, right? You can talk about the buildings and all these things, right? Wind, sun, accessibility, sound, noises. You can show like pedestrian traffic. So maybe you draw like a, you know, like a little shoe, the footprint, like 2 little shoe, and then you can show that how people walk on the site, right? So the shoes will be like 1, 2, 5 or whatever, you know, just like a path, right? And then arrows for vehicular direction. Okay, let me show you one diagram for sun. So again, we're gonna right click the 3D, we're gonna duplicate the view, duplicate with detailing. Okay, so we have this, we can, you know, leave it like it is, we just hide the wind direction, hide in view, elements. Now we don't have this. We want to make the sun path. Okay, so I know we are looking from this side, right? We are looking from this side. Let's just get a rough example of how it is. Okay, so this and this all is almost the same, right? What we're gonna do is from that angle, okay, okay, let's say the sun is in this direction, right? So we can see it properly. So something like this, right? First, we're gonna start by drawing a reference plane. Okay, this would be our reference plane. We can always rotate it later. It doesn't have to be perfect now, but just to, for a start, you know, try to make it as best as you can for it to be seen. So let's call this one sun path. Okay, once you're done, you can go to 3D. Okay, or let's make a section. Let's make a section cut. To make a section cut, pick this one, the section tool. Pick the section tool. You click one time. Okay, then you drag your mouse. Try to make it parallel to that reference plane. Okay, so you click one time, come at the end, click one more time. Okay, make sure this dotted covers your reference plane. Okay, if not, you won't see. If it's somewhere here, you won't see the reference plane. So make sure this is covering, you know, your site or whatever it is. Okay, in here, make sure your section is looking that way. If it's looking the opposite, you can click this to flip. Okay, so right click on it, go to view. Okay, click the clipping box, so then you can make this bigger, so you can see your trees. Right, make sure your trees are touching the ground and everything. Okay, open this. Okay, now we're gonna make a massing. Okay, massing inside, in place mask, press OK. Pick your arc tool, make sure it's set to sun path. Okay, somewhere here. Okay, maybe here. Right. Now pick line. Okay, placement plane, this one is fine, 200. Make sure it's set to this, right? It's set to draw on work plane. Like this one, pick line. Okay, this is correct. Now we just close it. Okay, don't forget to remove this, the offset, right? So here, close the shape. Back here, if you cannot see it, change it to wireframe. Okay, now here to here. Okay, select the whole thing, create form. It should work now. Change it back to shaded if you want, so you know what's happening. Now you can go back to your 3D just to take a look. Okay, so you have something like this. Select this side, so mouse over, press tab, tab, tab. So you have that edge. Move this a bit inside like this. Okay, so you have that arc. Okay, you have your arc. In 3D copy 1, make sure you're using 3D copy 1. Anyway, it's gonna show that side, so for now it's fine. Okay, just give it a material, create a new material. Okay, I'm going to call this one sun. I'm sure, yeah, I have a sun one. So just make sure your color is, you know, is somewhere there. Okay, okay, it's gonna override that old one. So I click override graphics and view by element. Change this to solid fill. Apply. Okay. Good, so you have this. Now we want to create the two arrow parts. Select your mask again, edit in place, go back to that section view, right? Here we're gonna create a new reference plane inside the mask. Pick the reference plane, make a line somewhere here, give it a name, arrow head 1. Okay, so you have this arrowhead 1. You go to your side view. In here you pick model. Okay, set your work plane to arrowhead 1. Make sure it's set to draw on work plane. Pick your drawing line tool. Now here we will have to make the arrow. Okay, try to make it nice. Okay, let me make this. Let me find the center. Yeah, I think this is okay. Okay, select these two. Mirror mirror it. Make sure you delete any extra lines. Right, delete this. Select this one. Try to make it one object. So close the triangular part. Select the whole thing. Oops. Select your triangle. Create form, solid form. In here, change your material to sun. Okay, or you can browse to it. It's up to you. Go back to your 3D. Now you have something like this. Okay, now you make it same size. So just try to make it like this. Okay, select the whole thing. Select the whole thing. Go to your section view. Move it. Okay, MV or pick the move tool. Bring it to this. Good. Okay, if it's going in the ground, we can always select the whole thing. We can move it up. Okay, press the arrow up key, move it up. Okay, go to your 3D. Okay, you have your arrow. Same procedure for the other side. So again, if you cannot see it, it's behind a building, you can always change this to wireframe. You can see where it ends. Make a reference plane, not line, make a plane. Okay, this one, make it like this. Give it a name, arrowhead 2. Arrowhead 2, right? You repeat the same steps as you did for this one, right? So you will have your arrowhead 2. I'm not gonna do it. I'm just showing you what it should be like. Okay, then the last thing is you want to make the sun. Okay, so if maybe you want to show like midday, morning, afternoon, right? So you first you have to zoom extends. Okay, to zoom extends, sorry, you double middle click mouse. So your middle mouse, you just double click it, it will zoom extends. Okay, double click middle mouse, pick the sphere tool. Maybe you come halfway here. Okay, maybe 1005 perhaps. Okay, let's do 1005. Okay, make sure you zoom extends again, double click middle mouse. Once you're done, you can pick your sun, create form, again solid form. You see Revit is giving you two options. One is using that circle to make a cylinder. The second one is to make a sphere. So you pick the second one. Okay, 1, 2, you pick the second one. Okay, so you will have your sphere. Make sure you give it a material, same as the arrow. So sun, apply it. Okay, now let's say you want to show afternoon, like the sun is setting. So maybe somewhere here. Again, 1005. Zoom out, zoom extend, sorry, double middle mouse click, select your sphere. Okay, create form, solid form. You will have your sphere, right? So if you go to your 3D, oh sorry, I missed. Okay, select this, zoom extend, double click middle mouse, create form, solid form. is giving me the option here, right? It will move every time. You just have to look around for it. So you pick the second one. It will become a sphere. Okay. Here you can show the angle. So let's say if the sun is setting, we want it at 180. So half a circle, right? Or here we put 180. Here we're gonna do, no, let's say 90 to 270. Okay, that's 180, but then you can see it like half this way. Okay, so now if you assign your material again, sun, apply, finish mask, you won't see your material, right? You need to go to your this view. Okay, so in this view you will see your sun. Make sure your angle is the same as the other drawings. So site analysis, just check it so it's looking that way. Go back to your this one, this way, right? So you can see the sun. Okay, so that will be midday, that will be, you know, sunset, sunrise, right? So you can show how the sun moves around your site. Okay, don't forget to make the other arrowhead at the other side, right? And these are ideas of what diagrams you can do, right? For sound and noises, maybe you can draw, you know, something, some arrows, like, you know, something like this. Right, so that could be for noise. I'm just drawing roughly. Okay, so that would be for noise, right? You can show represent noise by something like this, or maybe if you have like, you know, semicircles like this, right? And then, you know, you offset it, you make it thick, you give it a shape to be able to do the massing, right? You can represent sound like this, right? Accessibility, you can show car and stuff. So if you want, you can even show like a, you know, like a small shoe or something for people, how they walk around the site. I'm just drawing roughly. You just look online, you know, like how can you draw a small, not how can you draw, but the actual shape of a shoe. Maybe that one is for like pedestrian, you know, how people walk on the site. Okay, pedestrian circulation. So maybe you have like a small shoe. Okay, let me draw that side. Okay, this element is a bit too short. Okay, something like this. Let me round the corners so it looks a bit more like a shoe. Something like this. Okay, it looks a bit weird. Yeah, you get the idea, right? So this would be like a shoe sole. So you have like a sole. So maybe you just pick this, this, and this, and then you want to mirror it. Okay, so that would be like a, you make two, you know, like one copy, control V, right? So you could draw this on the side, make a massing out of it, so you know you can show how people circulate from one end of the site to the other. You can do like a same arrow like we did for the wind. You can draw one on the roads to show pedestrian, not pedestrian, vehicular traffic, right? This one would be the small shoe would be pedestrian, right? And then you have accessibility, noises, views. Okay, you can use this to represent views, right? This one you can use for noise, right? You have the sun, wind, a lot of things, right? You can even show vegetation. That's one more. and always do a little write-up, and then you can show maybe like one of the most detailed buildings you have, right? So you just showcase them here. You talk a bit about the building, right? There's a shop lot, commercial buildings and stuff, and maybe they have like residential on their second story, right? So the people who have the shops downstairs, they also live there, but they live above it. Okay, so yeah, I leave the diagrams up to you. Try to make them as nice as you can, and remember, just duplicate them. If not, one will be bigger, one will be smaller, right? So you can always show all your diagrams in here, right? And then don't forget, once you've made the sun, right, don't forget to bring the sun diagram on your sheet. So let me rename it just to show you one last time. Sun path. Okay, so you're gonna drag the sun path and put it here again. It's too big. Just click first, double click on it to open it. Change your scale to 2000. Right click, deactivate view, select it, bring it somewhere here. Now you can see that sun path is showing on all the diagrams, right? So you just have to open them and hide what you don't need. So you don't need this one. Right click, hide in view elements. Right click, deactivate. Same here. Select it. Right click, hide in view elements. Right click, deactivate. Okay. So now you have all your diagrams here. Okay, I'm not gonna do all of them. So yeah, it's up to you now. Good luck. And then to print, sorry, I forgot to mention this. To print, you just have to go File, Export, PDF. Okay, here it will detect your sheet size. Okay, it will detect the sheet size. Don't forget to put your name and stuff. Okay, and then if you are on the window that you want to plot, you can leave it at current window, or you can pick selected views and sheets. In here, you just click this one. If you edit this, you can pick your sheet in here. Okay, but it's better to leave it at current window, so you have your window that you want to plot here, so it will plot the current window. Okay, make sure you change this to presentation. That's all you have to change. Okay, orientation you will automatically detect based on the sheet. The sheet size also no need to change, it will detect automatically. Okay, so this one you can give it a name, your save location. Okay, all these things you leave most of the things at default. Here you can change it to presentation, so it comes out as a nice quality. Colors you leave it at color. Okay, the rest you can leave them off, like hide scope boxes, so that box around the thing it won't show. Just leave it as default, but don't forget to rename it like I said. So your assignment name, how I mentioned before, I'm not sure how it was. I think it was name, surname, and assignment, and then I think it was your student ID. Just double check the assignment brief, the naming convention will be there. So just follow that one, and then you plot it, you save it, and then you have to upload that PDF you're gonna plot and your final Revit file. So this file where you're plotting from, you have to upload that one. Okay, if you don't upload it, I will not accept the assignment, so you need both files. Okay, so yeah. Okay, thank you. Good luck.